Hey everyone, thanks so much for tuning in. If you want to keep up with stories like this and support independent reporting, please make sure to follow S News. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and drop your thoughts in the comments. It really helps us keep going and bring you more content like this. The sudden retreat of the United States and Israel. What are they afraid of? The United States and Israel suddenly pulled back some of their teams, scaled down operations, and avoided any open confrontation in Algeria and Saudi Arabia. Why are these two powerful countries, known for their constant involvement, suddenly stepping back? What do they know that we don't? More importantly, what exactly are they afraid of? This isn't just a simple strategic move. It feels like an invisible wave, a spiritual and geopolitical disturbance that no one dares to name yet. Something deeper is happening, something the cameras won't show. A kind of awakening, driven by faith. Something unusual has taken place, but no one wants to say it out loud.
In Tel Aviv, no one wants to admit it, but the silence is unsettling. It's like everyone's waiting for something they can't predict. It's not just about strategy or politics. There's a sense that something's changing, and honestly, it makes people in Washington uneasy.
In the quiet corridors of Washington, agendas have shifted. Algerian diplomats were secretly reassigned, and reports say offices are now empty. No drama, no crisis, just a slow fade-out. Officially, they mention security reasons, a vague and automatic phrase. But behind the scenes, some advisors are whispering a different truth. We no longer understand Algeria.
That's right. We're used to having a playbook, knowing every move. But now, the rules have changed, and honestly, we're just not sure what's happening anymore.
And over on the shores of the Red Sea in Saudi Arabia, strange developments are unfolding too. Israeli intelligence units that had been operating for years under economic or technological cover suddenly shut down their operations. No clear reason, just silence. Some missions had been planned for months, but were abruptly cancelled. In Tel Aviv, the silence is even louder. A country that usually defends every move now says nothing, and that silence says everything. Because powers like the United States and Israel don't just pull back for no reason. Their logic is cold, strategic, built on force. So when they leave a place, it's never impulsive.
We don't just walk away. If we're silent, it means there's something bigger going on, something we can't control.
So why the sudden retreat from two of the world's most strategic regions? Algeria, with its resources and influence across Africa. Mecca, the spiritual heart of the Islamic world, and a pillar of energy for the region. Mainstream media seems to be ignoring it. Newspapers prefer to talk about visible conflicts, economic data, or sanctions, but those who study the deeper dynamics feel this isn't just political. It's almost metaphysical. There's a kind of fear that doesn't come from rockets or numbers, a fear you won't find in official reports. Something in the air has shifted. The powers that used to control everything have lost their grip, not on a region, but on the atmosphere. When a people begins to rediscover its inner strength, when they turn honestly toward their creator, weapons lose their power and spies become blind. This strategic silence isn't a retreat, it's an escape from a light that neither Washington nor Tel Aviv can shut off. There are things satellites can't detect, movements that aren't reflected in United Nations votes or trade balances, but can be felt in the air, in the silence, in the hearts. In Algeria, as in the Arabian Peninsula, something invisible is becoming real. This isn't a street revolution or a regime change. It's a slow, quiet, unstoppable internal shift.
In Algerian cities, among buildings worn down by time, something new is rising from the mosques at dawn. Not just the warmth of the sun, but the warmth of voices.
Young men reciting the Quran with trembling voices. Fathers returning to the prayers they once forgot.
It's not an emotional wave. It's a reclaiming of the heart. And it doesn't need noise. It grows in silence. It shows in the eyes. You can feel it in the streets.
It's changing the way people speak, making political promises more serious, less theatrical, more grounded.
This isn't just about nationalism anymore, it's about spiritual duty and loyalty to a higher truth.
In the Arabian Peninsula too, something is quietly stirring beneath the golden palaces. Not a revolution, but a yearning for the sacred.
Mecca and Medina are no longer just tourist spots or postcard images. They're becoming centers of spiritual guidance again.
Young people are seeking meaning, coming back to faith, cleansing themselves, trying to find their place.
And this atmosphere, this inner change, doesn't scare the believers. It scares the watchers, the intelligence agencies.
Make no mistake, they're watching, analyzing every subtle sign, monitoring the increase in spiritual conversions, the renewed focus, the quiet transformation. There's been a rise in spiritual searches in Arabic on social media.
More and more, people are witnessing crowds waking up for dawn prayers. They hear those simple words, Allahu Akbar, spoken with sincerity, and they realize this isn't a trend or a passing phase.
It's a force, an ancient living force that doesn't need missiles or military budgets, because it descends from above. And once it awakens in a people, no empire can contain it. No drones, no dollars, no treaties.
The major media networks and foreign correspondents twist the story.
But on the ground, something deeply real is unfolding.
In Oran, an old man wearing a traditional robe, eyes full of tears, holds the Quran to his chest while mourning a missing son.
Around him, young men line up shoulder to shoulder on the pavement at sunset. No cameras, no staging, just a spoken word and hearts in need of healing.
In Riyadh, deep in a concrete neighborhood, people gather unexpectedly. No announcement, no permit. They stand at night facing the Qibla. No political slogans, no signs.
Just one verse being recited in a clear, trembling voice. Truth has come and falsehood has vanished. Indeed, falsehood is bound to vanish. Surah Al-Isra, verse 81.
Light is returning, but not like fireworks. It's coming back as a fierce inner clarity. And with it, all the things that used to be blurry are becoming sharp.
Lies are being exposed, contradictions exploding, secret deals unraveling, artificial divisions falling apart.
And when hearts begin to open, even the most carefully hidden lies feel heavy, like chains. Yes, foreign powers can sense this. They're not facing violent uprisings. They're facing quiet, organized awakenings. And that, to them, is far more dangerous. Because a people that reconnects with its inner light becomes ungovernable.
There are moments in history when borders stop being geographic and become spiritual.
When the lines drawn on maps matter less than the ones drawn in people's minds.
This is one of those moments.
The world's diplomacy is faltering, not because of broken treaties or sudden wars, but because a new, invisible axis is forming.
Not between governments, but between awakened people and hearts reconnecting with their creator.
Algeria isn't asserting itself through domination or conquest.
It's simply standing firm in its convictions.
It's not yet a military superpower, but it's becoming a moral compass, a stronghold of dignity and faith in a continent looking for direction.
And at its borders, neighboring nations aren't trying to copy its system. They're trying to understand its stance.
Meanwhile, in the southeast, despite years of inner conflict, Saudi Arabia is beginning to tremble again. Its deep religious roots are re-emerging.
Superficiality is slowly being replaced with inward reflection.
People haven't forgotten that it is home to Islam's two holiest sites, and the world powers know that.
Embassies are moving, reports are spreading.
But this isn't a strategic disruption. It's an existential anxiety.
Because when faith becomes a driving force again, the usual rules of domination collapse.
People start to reclaim meaning, and meaning is what changes the world.
The West no longer gets to define the story.
Verses from the Quran are rising up like lighthouses in a shaken world.
Political speech itself is changing.
It no longer just appeals to the intellect, but now also speaks to the soul.
In the middle of all this, a verse echoes with a new kind of strength. Do not lose heart or despair, for you will be superior if you are true believers. Surah Al-Imran, verse 139.
This isn't just a verse. It's a mirror, held up to nations that have been humiliated, displaced, and confused.
And to them it says, rise.
You're not alone.
That verse has always existed.
But now it's alive in people's eyes.
It's shaping decisions.
It's redrawing the world map, not in ink but in spirit.
They didn't leave because of direct threats. There were no explosions, no invasions, no declarations of war. And yet, they left quietly, in a hurry, like those who feel they no longer belong.
But what many fail to see is that this withdrawal wasn't a geopolitical retreat. It was a celestial sign, a silent warning to those who listen with more than just ears. It wasn't tanks that drove them away. It wasn't missiles that frightened them. It was something else, something no weapon can touch, an awakening.
The real battlefield isn't in deserts or capitals anymore. It's elsewhere now. It's in people's souls, in their consciences.
And here, Tawheed, the belief in the oneness of God, emerges again as an undeniable truth. When people raise their heads, not out of pride, but out of faith, when they realize that only God grants victory or humiliation, then the old power equations break down.
Earthly strategies fail when faced with those aligned with heaven. What experts call diplomatic repositioning is really just the first tremor of a crumbling system. A system of influence without ethics, power without soul, control without truth.
This new era won't be ruled by those who have, but by those who believe, by those who walk upright, even if they walk alone, by those who refuse to bow to modern idols. Every time a blind empire retreats, it creates space for spiritual presence, and every void left by the powerful can be filled by the guided.
The world is entering a new age, but it won't be announced in bold headlines. It'll be written in midnight prayers, in pure hearts, in children who learn to say La ilaha illa Allah before they even know how to spell their names.
This isn't the end of influence. It's the beginning of a new era, an age of spirit, and it's already begun. The world is changing, but not the way the headlines tell it. It's changing from the inside. The spirit of nations is being reborn, and that rebirth is terrifying to those who no longer have a soul. What we're witnessing isn't just geopolitics, it's a divine reminder, a call to return.